This is the Uptick Newswire Stock Day podcast, sponsored by InvestorsHangout.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube to stay up to date on penny stock news and interviews, public information on OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world, with your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, I'm bringing you back a returning guest. It's been about 6 months. He was back on the show on December the 20th, 2017. We're talking no other than PeerLogix, Inc. And, you know, I think they've created a new paradigm for advertising technology and data aggregation company. We're going to talk to the CEO later on in the show. I really think they're onto something. They trade on the OTC markets. Take a look at them. I think they're very undervalued here at 10 cents a share. Their ticker symbol is LOGX. And with us today is the CEO of the company, Ray Colwell. Ray, welcome back to the show.
Well, thanks again for having me.
You know, you guys are an advertising technology data aggregation company providing a proprietary software and service. Recently, you guys just got a new patent on track and collect data. Can you tell us a little bit about it and how long did it take you guys to get this patent?
Yeah, thank you for that. And it's a really key component of our success going forward. We filed this patent a number of years ago when the founder of the company, Will Gorfien, started the company. These things take some time to work its way through the process, and we're super excited about being able to show the world that we have the rights to collect OTT streaming data the way we aggregate it and build a taxonomy, and it's a really huge competitive advantage given where the marketplace is going from linear TV as it fragments into over-the-top subscription services as well as over-the-top ad-supported services. So this is one of two patents. We have another one that we filed. We filed it shortly after this first one, and we expect to have the second patent accepted and approved within the next 30 or 60 days if it goes on the same time frame that the first one was approved.
Well, like I said earlier, you were back on the show last year, December 20th, 2017. Provide us an update since the last time we spoke. I also read in one of your press releases, you guys have 89% year-over-year OTT growth. Wow, that must be something.
Yeah, two things. It is, and it's just, again, it's indicative of what the rest of the world is kind of seeing in our space, right? The old days of the TV up on the wall and everyone huddled around the TV watching a big screen are kind of over. If you have teenagers or if you have kids in the household with device and the proliferation of devices now. Everyone may still be in the same room, and I joke about this with my wife, with my kids, my three teenagers, but they might as well be 3,000 miles away because everyone's watching a different device, and they're watching customized streamed content through our ISP, our internet connection. So these numbers, although may be surprising to some people, we're seeing this kind of growth in our database month over month, quarter over quarter, and then collectively year over year. The cumulative growth is just off the chart in terms of the number of streams we're seeing, the diversity of the content that we're seeing globally, because we're in every country, and of course, corresponding to that, as we ramp the business, we're starting to see revenue start to follow that same trajectory as well. And we've just come off a great first quarter and second quarter as well, where we'll be really pleased with the revenue growth of the company with some deals that we've recently closed. My
guest today is Ray Colwell. He is the CEO of PeerLogix, Inc., trade on the OTC markets. Take a look at him. The ticker symbol is LOGX, trading around 10 cents a share. Any new revenue-generating initiatives since the last time we spoke?
Yeah, great question. And there's a couple. One is, for a long time, you've known us as an ad targeting company where advertisers and brands use our data to target individual households and consumers who are watching various types of content, but in a new way on different devices, not just the television. There's another use case for this data on the content side of things. So, for instance, We've closed a deal with a company called Pluto TV that's in the OTT aggregation space. They create apps and a website where you can go and watch ad-supported content from a number of different broadcast venues and movies, and they've done these deals with these producers. They're using our data to go out and procure this content from studios and producers and broadcast networks, because we have a 4-year library globally on what households like to watch. So they take our insights that say, okay, these are the top 5 or 10 genres of movies or TV shows and individual titles of TV shows and movies that various countries around the world are watching and are popular right now. So what they do is they take those insights and go to the studios and the broadcasters and source content from them based upon the popularity of the content that we see in our database. So it gives them a better idea of what to buy that they know they can monetize when they try to sell ads against it on their own site or in their own website or app. The other way that they're using the data too is when they've built that content library that they bought from producers and content producers and broadcast networks, they use our data to map that content library that they just purchased to the visitor who's showing up at the site or the app. So think if I bring a 4-year history of what I've consumed from a content standpoint to Pluto TV's website or app, they know a lot about me when I show up so that they can recommend what I would like to watch. And if I stick around longer, I watch more content, then Pluto TV generates more yield per page and revenue, and they monetize the content that they purchased at a much higher rate and are more profitable. So they're using our data for those 2 ways. Lastly, yes, we are really excited about what's called product placement in the advertising business. If you read, you may have come across a lot of stories recently about how various broadcast networks are dropping the amount of ad pods and the size of the ad pods in a commercial hour, because they're seeing people flee from ad-supported material into subscription services. So they're trying to be cognizant of not showing so many ads. But when they drop the ad load, they also want to raise the price. So what they're also doing is beginning to add product placement into the actual content so that they can charge for product placement as well as advertising. So think, various products like Chevrolet or Aston Martin in like the Transformers movie or in a James Bond movie. Those deals are done between content producer and advertiser. We have a ton of insights over the course of 4.5 years, as I said, and data that shows, the viewership of some of those TV shows and movies where this product placement occurred, but the content producers who are looking to generate more income from their content don't know about all the streaming activity that's going on that we can quantify. So, for instance, in the last one of the top movies last year, Chevrolet was featured as a product in one of the movies, and we'll be releasing this next week. We saw an additional, $1 million worth of product placement that the producer and the distributor of that movie didn't account for. So they left $1 million on the table, and they didn't charge Chevrolet for, and Chevrolet got a great bonus for being in that content but not paying for the streams that we saw. So where we started this company was on the advertising targeting and demand side, we call it. We've also expanded with Pluto TV, and we're talking to others about how our data can be used to help them procure content and then recommend specific content to their site visitors. That's on the supply side. The third leg of this now, and I think is a really big market, it's a $10 billion market in North America this year, is the product placement market space. And we have data that stands to really be able to help a lot of the content producers generate more revenue so they can continue to create great engaging content for all of us to watch as advertising pods diminish and they can't make as much money in the ad-supported space. They can still generate tons of money and tons of interest here in product placement.
I was seeing one of your press releases. Are you guys working with AdSquare, and what is that all about?
Yeah, AdSquare is a great partner of ours. We provide our what we call taxonomy, or our audience segments around various TV shows and movies that individual households watch. We provide that to AdSquare, and AdSquare, as a mobile data management platform, sells that data to various brands, advertising agencies who are trying to reach households that we have a lot of good information on from a consumption standpoint. So that partnership has taken an even deeper relationship in the release that we just launched this week, where we're beginning now to do some media planning in real close proximity with AdSquare and going to market together with them to their clients, their agencies, and the brands that they talk to on custom segments. So we can get down to, if a brand is really interested in a particular type of content or genre of content, they can now tell AdSquare real easily, and we built a process for AdSquare to work with our data so that they can go into the database, they can pull a title and say, this is how many households are available. These are individuals who are available who watch Modern Family or who have watched and love Jennifer Aniston movies. Like, we can get that granular in our database and answer the incoming questions and requests from agencies and advertisers who are really trying to associate their brand with specific type of premium content or tactics around that premium content with specific actors and actresses in the show. So the point of that release was we're getting super deep and super close with our advertising partners in the space as OTT becomes a huge opportunity. And as linear TV is fragmenting, we are re-aggregating those fragmenting audiences, and people like AdSquare are starting to take note of that and leaning on us to get them the kind of data that they need to sell more advertising. So we're super, super excited about that relationship taking the next level with that relationship and working with them almost on a daily basis to satisfy their clients' requests.
Well, Ray, we're running out of time today. I want to thank you for coming on the show. But in closing, do you have anything that you would like to illustrate out there to my listeners?
Yeah, no, just stay tuned for more. We're thrilled with, we always knew this data in its raw format had a lot of potential. Over the course of the last 12 months that I've been here, we've commercialized that data to the point where it's a tradable asset in the marketplace for advertising. And now we're finding new, very significant use cases for the data that will drive additional revenue for the company. So I just want to thank all of our initial investors in the company. And, they've been with us through thick and thin in a long time. I think they're starting to see the benefits of that now as we begin to get into new markets. And we haven't even touched our global footprint yet, but that's on the horizon as well as something that will be coming soon.
I want my listeners to take a look at PeerLogix. I think it's undervalued here at 10 cents. They're about to turn the corner, put some revenues on the books here the next quarter, next month, and going forward. I really do like the company. I like the management. You can find them on the OTC markets under the ticker symbol LOGX. Ray, thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you'll come back on the show in about 40 days. Give us an update what's going on.
Yeah, thanks again for having me, and look forward to it.
This program is entirely sponsored and produced by Uptick Newswire, LLC, which is responsible for the content. The opinions and information provided on this program are those of the guests and those of the respective companies they represent, and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of Uptick Newswire. Uptick Newswire encourages all listeners of this program to do their due diligence and research when determining investment strategies that will work for them, or to seek the assistance of an investment professional. The guests of this program may have paid for its distribution and are not directly affiliated with Uptick Newswire or this station.